If you're wondering why my setup looks different from my last video, it's because I recently, like not recently, but a while back, I painted my walls, like, painted them a different color, and I'm filming from a new part, like new side of my room, so that's why it looks different. In fact, now that I think about it, probably none of you were wondering that, but I just thought I'd mention it for reasons, I guess. Man, Woody the Woodpecker, what a classic. One of the most iconic characters from the 1940s. You don't know who Woody Woodpecker is, do you? Well, don't worry about it. I don't blame you. Heck, for a long time, I didn't know who he was. For a while, my only exposure to him was his one short appearance in this movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That was until I did research on him for this video that I learned more about the impact this character had on animation, and I've even watched a couple of his older cartoons, and I can definitely say I liked them. I thought they were pretty good. I've grown some respect for the old bird. Although I don't love him as much as some other cartoon characters, I could definitely say I like him, and I think it'd be pretty cool if he made a comeback. Bad news is, we did get a comeback back in 2018 in the form of a movie, and it sucks. The existence of this movie is baffling to me. Like, why does this movie exist? I know before I said I think it'd be cool if he made a comeback, Woody Woodpecker, but I didn't expect it to happen, but it did. And like, this movie just came out of nowhere. Like, you wouldn't think, if I thought Woody the Woodpecker would make a comeback, I would have thought, like, I don't know, making some like new shorts in the style of the older cartoons, or like re-releasing those like on DVD or Blu-ray or something. I don't know, like making a collection. I'm not sure. But like with this movie, it just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, oh no, Woody the Woodpecker is such a big thing. We got to make a movie right about, like, Woody the Woodpecker wasn't relevant back in 2018. He hadn't been relevant for years. So why did they release this movie at all? I don't know why. And maybe I'd forgive it if it was good, but like I said before, it sucks. And no, it is not good. It really is terrible. This isn't the worst movie I've ever seen, but it is kind of a pain to watch because the movie feels incredibly cheap and dated. Like, for one thing is, the movie came out theatrically in Brazil, because I guess Woody is famous there or something, but in the US, the movie came out, just like went straight to Netflix and to DVD, which is more appropriate because I definitely wouldn't pay to watch this on the big screen. It feels like a direct-to-video movie that you would definitely see like on Cartoon Network or Boomerang or like Nickelodeon when they don't feel like airing cartoons. It's one of those movies. It's not like very high quality. Like, the celebrities that they got for this aren't really, that famous. Or I think there was one celebrity, I'm not sure. Like I said, they're not that famous, so I don't know. And like, Woody himself wasn't relevant for like years when this movie came out. So, there's another reason. And the CG on him, because he's CG in this, is nothing terrible, but it's not Pixar level. Like, it does look a little bit weird, especially when he's like flying around, spinning, all that stuff. It looks a bit odd. And the movie also feels dated, like I said before, like, especially the story. It is very cliche, definitely something that would have come out like the 90s or the 2000s, about like, this father has to reconnect with his son, but he's too busy with his stuff, and the son is like, oh man, I'm so radical, I'm a teenager, pizza's so cool, I play guitar, that kind of stuff, and somehow Woody brings them together or something. It's one of those kind of stories, and it's not done well here. And there's also like a pro-nature thing, like, nature's cool. It's not a big focus, but it's there, and it's also not done well. And yeah, the story is very cliched, especially with the way the kids talk. It's like, oh, we're so cool, we're in a band, we play guitar, all this. They don't talk like kids do now, so it definitely feels like something like out of the 90s or the 2000s. But what about Woody himself? Like, is he good in this? No. Woody the Woodpecker was kind of an annoying character in this. I didn't really like him that much. And I know that was his whole thing in the original cartoons. Like, he was annoying, but like, it wasn't annoying as in like a funny, cartoony, slapstick way. But in this, he's annoying as in his jokes aren't funny. Like, he's got lame fart, poop, and burp jokes and lame pop culture references. Yes, he's that annoying. And honestly, most of the scenes he's in, I could somewhat tolerate him, probably because he's voiced by Eric Bauza, who I think is a great voice actor. And he did a pretty good job in this, given what he was given. And he did kind of help a little bit. But for the most part, Woody was kind of not that annoying, and that's no fault to, Eric Bauza. He was, like I said, he was given this script, so he probably did the best he could, but, that still doesn't kind of help with some scenes. Woody was kind of annoying, and overall, I guess going into the movie, I was expecting him to be very annoying, like super, like I just couldn't stand him, but most of the time, I tolerated him a little bit, probably because Eric Bauza helped. Eric Bauza, if you're watching this, which you probably are not, but if you are, I think you're cool. But he's not watching this, is he? Yeah, he's not. But the point is, Woody the Woodpecker is kind of annoying this, and there were some parts where I just really couldn't stand him. And overall, I think that's all I kind of have to say about the movie. Woody the Woodpecker is one of the most iconic characters, cartoon characters from the 1940s, and I would definitely like to see him get a comeback, but not like this. This movie is one of the worst comebacks he could have ever gotten, and like I said before, it's not one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's not like the worst thing ever, but it was kind of hard to sit through. It was very cheap, dated, and not that funny, and if you're scrolling down Netflix and you see this there, just keep on scrolling. It's not worth a watch. And who knows, maybe one day Woody will get the return he deserves. But for now, this movie's all we got, and oh no, dang, we're just gonna keep hoping. But that's kind of all I have to say. I was thinking about doing the Woody laugh here, but I'm not good at that.